tonight.
One of the things we want to make sure is that our people in our community feel safe, and that's a crime issue.
Lloydminster City Council hears the concerns of residents. Plus,
we've noticed a real lack in the prairie, so that's why we decided to start this company.
There's a new avenue for local talent to get exposure.
This is Newcap News with Brian Lentz.
After compiling months of data, a full report of the Community Social Needs Assessment, completed in 2017, was delivered to Council this week. Josh Ryan has more on the needs of Lloydminster residents, highlighted by the report.
Lloyd needs to be the greatest place to raise a child.
Over 2,100 residents took part in Lloyd Needs, the social needs initiative undertaken last year in partnership with Family and Community Support Services and the Lloydminster Region Health Foundation.
They overlap in many areas. So I think that this was an opportunity that working together, pooling resources and pooling money, because for us to have gone out and completed that survey at the full cost, or the Health Foundation, duplication.
Many issues were raised by survey respondents, with substance abuse, transit, and crime listed as the most important.
One of the things we want to make sure is that our people in our community feel safe, and that's a crime issue.
The transit issue is one that has remained an active discussion for several years, particularly for providing service to groups like seniors and international students.
You know, using a bus or using public transit is not for everybody, and part of that means that we have to talk about what those positives are. When's the right time to use it? What models would people, be most supportive of? We have a handy van system that has really dealt with a transit issue to meet a specific, unique need within the city. Are there ways to do similar kind of work with other groups within the city?
However, the cost for a municipality to have public transportation remains a barrier.
So if you're looking at cost at this point in time where we're at in our budget, anything that would add to the deficit is probably low priority, even though it's a high social need. So we have to look at a model that's going to somewhere find its way in the middle between meeting the need and not creating deficit.
More than 70% of survey respondents were female, despite strong efforts to engage all demographics. Councillor Stephanie Brown-Monroe wonders if mental health stigma in men hurt their participation.
I would hope that it isn't, but it questions me at the back of my mind on whether it is, and is that something that we need to be more aggressive with?
There are several recommendations in the report for community engagement, support for access to services, and increased funding for many different programs. But before any decisions are made, administration will take some time to dissect the findings of Lloyd Needs in greater detail.
Now they'll start to work away at programs, identify those needs, and work with the partners in the community, and that'll come back through council.
Josh Ryan, Newcap News.
Well, after dealing with sketchy talent agents and not having the proper resources nearby, two prairie moms decided to start their own talent agency. As Michaela Henschel reports, Flair Talent Agency is not only helping aspiring dancers, singers, actors, and models find jobs, but also prepping them for getting that big audition.
Stop. 3, good. 5, 6, 7. Off you go.
Heather Finley and Gina LaPointe's daughters share a passion for dance. But after dealing with a bad experience with a talent agent that asked for money up front and then didn't deliver, they took matters into their own hands.
We've noticed a real lack in the prairie, so that's why we decided to start this company to help all of the young and hungry talent.
Flair Talent has teamed up with famed dance studio owner Sarah Makins to help bring exposure to an area that is often overlooked.
Lots of opportunities in Vancouver, Toronto. We have so much talent in Alberta and Saskatchewan. It is ridiculous.
We want to bring our diversity into the bigger cities and take all of these really hardworking, passionate kids and give them a chance to do what they love and to be successful.
On top of representing aspiring local talent, Flair is providing a multiple city tour of workshops kicking off in Lloydminster on February 10th. The workshops teach industry skills and provide audition practice with a panel of industry experts.
We're looking for really hardworking, passionate kids who have a dream of, being successful at auditions.
For Makins, the agency is about giving her students and others an opportunity to achieve their dreams.
At FAME, we try to train triple threats all the time and get them out of this building being able to do all of that. So that's what we're trying to do, is just make sure that all of these talented dancers, singers, actors, models, right, have somewhere to go where we know that they're going to get jobs and they're going to be able to do something with all this hard work.
Michaela Henschel, Newcap News.
A small town in the Midwest is remembering a woman who did so much to preserve its history. We have more on the community of Lashburn and the lasting impact of Millie Carruthers.
Here in Lashburn, the work of Mildred Carruthers, or Millie, is visible. She first arrived in the area in 1948 as a teacher, and when the old Lashburn school was at risk of being torn down, Millie couldn't let that happen.
She just likes history, and that was probably one of the first schools in Lashburn. My dad went to that school. I went to that school.
An integral part of the Save Our School campaign, Millie helped preserve that piece of Lashburn history. After extensive renovations and a new furnace, the old building is still being used as a school and community hall today.
Volunteer labor on all of it, inside, outside, and she was an instigator to part of it and kept things going and raising money and stuff like that.
Millie's passion for history included honoring Canada's heroes, and she knew a veterans gallery needed to be built in the community.
The museum was huge, and her pet project was the Veterans Gallery. She just felt that there was a lot of veterans from Lashburn and area that served and should be recognized.
She sent out letters of invitation to send their records of service, medals, pictures, whatever they liked. And already when the Veterans Gallery opened in 1999, she had received over 200 framed submissions.
The Veterans Gallery has continued to grow and now has its own home in the old Legion Hall, but perhaps Millie's greatest impact is on the people she leaves behind.
Millie went through a lot of the kids and stuff around here. I call them kids, you know. I'm 66 years old and I still think I'm a kid, Millie's kid in a way.
She meant a lot to us, and hopefully, I mean, I don't think Bev and I will ever be the woman that she was, but she just give you the shirt off her back kind of person. Right. Yeah.
A lot of people just thought the world of her. She was just that kind of a person. Miss her.
Millie Carruthers passed away October 18th at the age of 93.
Well, Ecole St. Thomas students and staff are celebrating Carnaval. Here's Ryan Craig with more details.
From outdoor fun to cultural learning, kids in kindergarten to grade 7 will have a little taste of a traditional celebration throughout this week.
We celebrate winter by playing some outdoor games. Throughout the week, they have different kinds of ceremonies, workshops come in. Tomorrow, they're going to do some maple syrup on snow, which we call Latia. The kids love that. That's usually a highlight. And they just get to live and play in French. It's an opportunity to use the language that they practice every day in class.
Bobsledders ready!
For the students, Carnaval is a chance to play with friends in a different environment than usual. An event that goes over quite well with the student body.
We'll start with you. What's your name, buddy?
I'm Sebastian.
Sebastian, what's your favorite part about this Carnaval?
I like toffee on the snow,
Yeah?
and we call it Latier.
Okay, nice. And what about you?
I'm Chanel, and my favorite activity are the indoor activities that we do, like the bobsleigh rides.
You don't like the cold, hey? It's a little
No.
too cold over here?
Yeah.
How about you?
My name's Shane, and I really like the outdoor activities like tug of war and capture the flag.
My name's Anna, and I really like the workshops we do. This year we're doing one called Boucheron.
Awesome. And how about you?
My name's Nina, and I just love celebrating Carnaval in French.
The event is all about celebration, and not just for the kids. Others have found joy in the festivities for a long time.
We are AKA Nana and Grandpa of Carnaval. And we've been coming to Carnaval since our oldest granddaughter was in kindergarten. And she is now in grade 9.
So what does keep Nana and Grandpa Carnaval coming back? just pure joy.
We come because we enjoy the kids. All the kids at the school here at St. Thomas, they yell at us whenever they see us. They say, "Hi, Nana," "Hi, Grandpa," and that gives me warm hugs.
Ryan Craig, Newcap News.
1, 2, 3.
Certainly quite the celebration. And now we have two special kitten siblings and an energetic dog named Sophie in the adoption spotlight this week. Here's John from the SPCA.
These two adorable little kittens are Apto and Pterodactyl. Both arrived at the shelter with their mother and their 4 litter mates in mid-October. As they were only about a week old when they arrived, they were placed in foster care until they were big enough for adoption. Now both kittens are ready and waiting to meet their new families. Although a little shy at first, once these two are comfortable, their personality really starts to shine. They absolutely love to run and play and are very inquisitive little kittens. Life is one big game to this pair, and all that each of them needs now is a loving home where they can learn and grow. These kittens are definitely not to be missed, so stop by the SPCA and meet this adorable pair today. This bundle of energy is Sophie. Sophie is not only an absolutely adorable dog, but she's also very intelligent. There's no limit to what Sophie can learn, and you can tell she enjoys the challenge. Sophie is a glass half full type of dog whose personality is infectious. All she needs now is a home that will keep her mind occupied. She's definitely not the type of dog that enjoys lounging around the house. She wants to be outside running and playing and going for long walks. When she's inside, she loves to have a toy to chew on, anything to keep her busy. If you're looking for a dog to keep you active, then Sophie would be the perfect dog for you. Be sure to visit the SPCA and say hi to Sophie today.
This is Newcap Sports.
Well, both Lakeland Rustlers basketball teams returned home this past weekend for the first time since late November. Lance Phillips shows us how an international spurned the women to success, while the return of a sidelined player benefited the men.
4 weekend games against Grand Prairie started Friday for both Rustlers basketball squads, with the women earning their 11th win of the season. It wasn't perfect, but it was just enough to earn a 74-53 win over the ACAC North's last place team.
I thought we played gritty. We fought through some really bad defensive breakdowns. Offensively crashed the glass well. So those are keys. We're really trying to work on being more consistent with our work ethic, and I thought it showed.
We definitely played a lot better for a lot longer than we have, and that's probably the most important thing.
When not injured, the team's Australian players have been a bright light for the Rustlers, and that held true Friday. A fantastic performance from Norman earned her Player of the Game honors and some high praise from her coach and fellow players.
Now she's scoring the ball, she's running her offense, she's defending, and you can see today she was confident. All of her shots were either in and out or else they're going in.
You know, obviously it's better to play good, and I feel like I've kind of been building a little bit. Obviously I wasn't very happy with my first semester, but it was good. It was good to get the win. We needed that, and it was a really good team win.
The men's side narrowly defeated GPRC 87-84, but had a tough time containing the Wolves' #1 threat, fifth-year guard Kenny Johnson, who had a game-high 37 points. A win is a win, but it's not enough for a team with a defense-first philosophy.
Kenny's a tough player. He's a first-teamer. Probably might be player of the year. He should be stats-wise. So he's a tough player to stay in front of, but we had to get in front of him. Gave up probably about 6, 7, 8 and ones. You know, that's tough to give up.
A bit of good news for Lakeland. Second-year guard Akeem Phillip played his first home game since a shoulder injury sidelined him for most of the season. He's not 100%, but his presence on the court does make a difference.
I feel amazing, man. My shoulder is still kind of messed up, but I feel great.
That energy he brings, the hard work he brings, we really like that, and he's a really good defender as well.
It's tough when you have an injury and you sit out half the year, and that's pretty much back-to-back seasons. Last year was the same thing, so he's coming in the second half. He's getting rolling, getting the feel, and I think he'll just add to his game.
Lance Phillips, Newcap Sports, Lloydminster.
An entire generation of hockey fans have grown up watching NHL players at the Olympics. In this week's edition of Beyond the Boards, Eric Friesen explains how the NHL's decision to not send its players to the games could be a benefit for Junior A players.
Just quickly, just
Every 4 years, hockey fans across Canada anxiously look forward to the Winter Olympics. But for the first time since 1994, NHL players will not compete at the Games.
Yeah, it'll be a little different. I mean, everyone goes there and, watch the NHL all year and then expects to see the top players there. But, it's probably not going to change much for me. I'm still going to cheer for Canada.
It's just a shame that the NHL players can't go. I mean, they can't showcase that they're the best in the world. It's always fun to see the best in the world play against the best in the world.
While the fan in them might be disappointed, seeing former AJHL standout Cale Makar earn an invitation to play for Team Canada shows the Olympic dream is achievable for players who have yet to reach hockey's highest level.
It definitely throws a twist to it. I mean, usually the Olympics are for the top guys, so you have all your first rounders, your first overall picks, and they know that if they keep performing, they can play there. But there's always that what if chance that's going to be presented now, because for the next Winter Olympics, what if the NHL doesn't go there again?
It's just kind of a neat experience and an opportunity for guys that maybe don't make that step to the NHL.
Obviously, it keeps your hopes and your dreams alive. I mean, a lot of those guys are good enough. There are a lot of really great hockey players not in the NHL still. And, them getting an opportunity to go over and play for their country is something really cool and inspirational, as you might say.
Eric Friesen, Newcap Sports.